All right, traders. This is Blake Morrow. Excuse me. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I think Paul Franco lost his internet overnight. I'm actually thinking that I was told that he had lost his internet. So I know in Texas there's a really big snowstorm or ice storm or something. At least I think there is, and it's not surprising to see internet go down there. I lived in Texas for 13 years, and inclement weather really used to just to like kill everything around there. Because like in Arizona, our all of our internet lines are not exposed. They're underground for the most part, most cable wires. But in Texas, they're all overhanging, and um, so stuff goes down all the time. Mm. Anyway, good morning. Hope you guys are having a great trading session. I know I've been having conversations with people all morning about what was said yesterday and everything that's going on. And for those of you that missed it, I have resigned from my post from the Wise Trade Group after almost 15 years. I started with this company in 2002, early 2002, and and about a year after I started with this company, it had purchased the brokerage firm that that I had started with a few other partners. So it's been a very long and interesting and um, very fulfilling, very fulfilling last you know basically 15 years. And you know I had to take a step back from these webinars just because this is an important step for me in my career, and what was right for my family and I. And trading much larger size and full time for a private fund is the next step for me, and I'm very excited about doing it. I'm excited about moving along, and for those of you that follow me on Twitter, I'll still be there. I'm still providing analysis for Forex Analytics. My colleagues over there, like Nick Trades and everybody else. It's just that I won't be doing these webinars. The webinars for me are great, and they've always been awesome. And heck, I like doing analysis in this type of format because it makes me really think about what I'm doing, and and makes me really focus on the intricacies of the market. However, 3.5 hours out of my day in a 24-hour day is a long time, and then on top of that, all the other duties I had over at the Wise Trade Group, and I'd get torn away from my trading to do this, that, and the other thing. So it was, you know, I just, if I had 30 hours in the day, it'd probably been a little different story. But considering I only have 24 hours a day to do what I need to do, it became that time. Like I said yesterday, the time I've spent with you, the listener, has been really a great experience for me. It's been a great growing experience. It's really helped me hone my skills as a trader. Um, I've over the years, over the last 14, 15 years, I've really been able to hone my skills and know, for me, what works for me, and really understand that the basics that I've done, and that the way I've traded for so many years is really the what works for me the best. And I've tried to give you that as well, so you had that basic understanding that trading the markets is not super complicated. It's not a lot of traders just make it a lot harder than it actually is. But in all actuality, trading the markets is really more about, it's more of the struggles internally than the market itself. We can control certain things as traders, and what we control as traders is basically ourself, our emotions, our risk management, and with that, we can really control our own destinies in the market. And a lot of people, think it's, some special technical analysis indicator that you might find, or what have you. But really, it's all about, honing in on the basics and really making that work for you and becoming consistent with it. Whether you take my approach to the market or something, some derivative of it, whatever makes you comfortable, and just do it over and over and over again. Repetitiveness and understanding what you do consistently will bring you a positive result over time. And having that understanding is really the entire battle, and something that I've learned with you all. Okay, um, I'm going to miss you guys. I am. I'm going to miss interacting with you every day you know from this format. But like I said, don't think I'm going to disappear. I think a lot of people have this misconception that I'm like, I think maybe my messaging on Twitter made people believe that I might not be around anymore, but that's not going to be true at all. Matter of fact, you'll probably see more of me on Twitter, as that will be my sounding board of where I can get some ideas out. Aside from uh, my portion of analysis that I do at Forex Analytics, of course, but I'll be able to get out of a lot of ideas out of there, and I won't be a stranger to these webinars. I'll come back on as a guest from time to time, to be on with Polly or with Steve Bealby, or Kip Cohen, or and I won't be up with Chris Asaro because he's just up at silly times of the day. But if I have to really, if I feel like the necessary that I need to get out my ideas and what I'm doing, and a trade in the market that I feel everybody's got to know about it, and I got to shout it from the rooftops, then I'm probably will come on as a guest and give those ideas away. So like I said, you have not heard the last of me, and you will not. This is not it by any stretch of the means. It's just on a daily basis, on a consistent basis. You're just not going to be hearing me every day. I'll be tackling the markets with you guys. And more laser focused on on what I'm doing versus a lot of times on these webinars I'll be sitting here in a trade, and you guys don't ever know this. I think I keep a lot of it back from you. I'll be in a trade, and it might be non-farm payroll, or the market's moving, and I'm sitting here trading as I'm doing this webinar, which I am right now actually. And I might be in a position, and I lose like $5,000, and I'm sitting here with you, and you have no idea. I have to, and I don't blurt it out, and I try to keep my cool and try to continue on with what I'm doing. But it's difficult because I can't always manage what I'm doing when I'm on this webinar. I do it pretty good, but I obviously can do better. And so with that being said, I'm that's where my focus is going to be. So like I said, it's been a great journey with you all, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I really have. 98% of it I've really enjoyed. But it is time, and then it's time for me to move on, and I'm going to miss you all. I'm going to miss you all as well. But these webinars will be here. I'm not too sure what happened with Paul today, but I think I think his internet went out, is what I think happened. So With that being said, let me address a couple of questions. I have a lot of comments that have come in, and I missed a lot of comments yesterday. So just and like I said yesterday, before I go here, before I answer some of your questions or some of your concerns, um, I wanted to spend one last week with you guys, like knowing that I'll be leaving, and it's not. It was so I can address any questions coming in. So I didn't leave and leave the Wise Trade Group and Trade King with a you know blank space then you guys contacting them and asking them a bunch of questions. I wanted to be able to confront you guys and spend a good week with you, um, you know, and hopefully get some good analysis along the way and maybe even make a little bit of money. So I that was my choice, and I'm parting ways with Wise Trade on a very good note. I've been through a lot with these guys, with this group, the people that work there, the people in the office, the back end people that you guys don't even know of, the developers, the people in support, the people in HR. Those are the people that I've spent numerous years at Christmas parties and office parties and hung out with. Before I moved from Dallas, I know all of them very well, and to me they're family. Even as I've moved away from Dallas, 5 years ago, I still know them all. Like they're I could walk in there at any moment and sit down and have some hours of conversations with them about old times. So I didn't want to leave them hanging, not at all. Okay. Anyway, good morning, Aaron. Aaron in the UK. Good morning. One of our longtime Wise Trade customers. How you doing? Glenn. Good morning. Hasselhoff. Good morning. Max. Good morning. Glenn, I already said Glenn. Alan says, good morning, Blake. How are you doing? I wanted to say thank you for all the skills you brought to my trading. I wish you all the best for your new adventures and to you and your family. Thank you very much. You're welcome, Alan. Thanks, and I'm always like I said to you guys yesterday. My whole idea, and I know Kip shares these same thoughts, and so do the other guys with us. My whole idea is just reshaping the bell curve, the trading bell curve. I remember when I started trading in 1996. Even though I started in the business in 95, I really started trading in 96, so 20 years ago. And I remember first thing the that one of the traders that I sat behind told me is like, listen, only 5% can make it here. The way you're going to be, that 5% or not is how you handle yourself in dire situations. I always remember that, and but I didn't really understand it. I really didn't understand it until I started, trading, and I started realizing that really it's not about all the fancy little gadgets you have and all the pretty charts that you look at. It's about the inner struggles with yourself and how you deal with your emotions as you're trading. And so it's great to hear that I've impacted so many people on a positive in a positive way. If like I said yesterday, if I walk away from here and I know that the people that I've touched are now, they have a 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70% chance of being successful, then I feel like I've done everything that I could do, because not everybody's going to be successful, because I can't control you. I can't, there's some things that I definitely can't help you with, but, for the most part, if I can get my message through to you and it can resonate with you, I think it's going to help you. So. It's good to hear that. Jonas, good morning. Fernando says, this is crazy news. You've inspired me to continue and become better at this job and believing that it's doable even away from a bank's trading desk, flying solo. I will really miss you. If you are ever in NYC, please let me know. Thank you, Blake. Thanks, Fernando. And I probably will be in New York City and Greenwich sometime in the very near future. Say sometime in the spring. So cheers. Love to. Uh, if I go come to the city, I'll try to organize some sort of meetup. I will. Um, Rick, Rick in Dallas. Hey, I'm gonna miss you, buddy. And he goes, lots of cold weather and many rolling back black brownouts. I've heard several uh, transformers have gone out while they get power back through them. Wow, Rick. Um, let's see here. Paul said, "Oh, here. Looks like Paul is here. Let me hold on, Paul. Give me a second, guys. Hey, Paul.
Hey Blake, how you doing?
Hey, man. What's going on?
Man, I don't know. Just heard some guy say the brownout too. I went to bed last night at 8:30 last night. I went to bed especially early, and I woke up on my own without alarm, and I go, okay, well I'll sleep a little bit more because it's so cold down here.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I wake up, you know how you can tell you're asleep, but you're like, man, I sure am getting a good sleep. And then I wake up and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's already after 5 o'clock. And I thought, oh my God, it's after 6 o'clock. So I don't even know what happened. I was just scrambling to the computer. Next thing I could see that the thing was on, and I thought, okay, Blake must have just turned on the webinar. And I said, well, make me organize. And I look over there and I'm like, hell, it's past 6 o'clock. So I slept for I slept for almost 10 hours.
Oh my God. Well, that means your body needed it. That's what that means, You probably needed that sleep, so that's good. That's good.
10 hours? Holy smokes.
Well, hey, you're probably just getting in tune with the market, so why don't you just take the morning off and we'll see you tomorrow, man.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to address all these questions that have come in and
Yeah,
talk with
one of the
everybody.
questions that one of the guys, because listened to you all yesterday morning, was about the what do you call it? The daily, the bias chart. And remember, you shared that with me before you went on vacation. So
Yeah.
I'll continue using the bias chart.
Oh, good, good. That's I think you'll find, Paul, that the bias chart is a really good guide. It'll help you out quite a bit. As far as like, getting your thoughts straight, um, about, kind of it's called a bias chart, but it's really helps you get an unbiased view of the market. As once you go through it,
Exactly.
you go through it and you're like, oh hell, the dollar is actually I'm bullish the dollar, but after looking at everything, I might be a little bit more. I'm seeing some mixed signals, and then that gives you pause, or if you're like, well, I really wasn't too sure about the dollar weakness today, but after going through all the going through the bias chart and tackling it, I realize that the dollar is very weak right now, and it should be sold. So I think you're really gonna benefit from that. So I'll make sure you let me know, if you need the copy because I've got a copy here. So
Yeah, I do. In case in point, we were discussing yesterday, and I'll jump right off here, was when we were talking about the dollar, and that even though it was, I mean, the euro dollar, even though it was really oversold, that you'd have to be careful trying to buy that. And sure enough, anybody that bought it yesterday, they really are singing the blues right now.
yeah, here I'm actually going. I'm getting you the bias chart right now. I'm sending it to you so you
Okay.
have it. Attach the copy. And I just sent it to you so you have it in your inbox.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
great.
All right,
Okay.
cool, Paul. And I'm sure everybody's going to be really happy to hear that. And so I'll see you tomorrow morning. All
Okay,
right.
great. You
All right.
too.
Great. Thanks, Paul. All right, trader. Sorry, I'm back. Looks like Paul it was more of a case of sleeping in. But I know you guys in Texas, man. It's when weather hits, it hits. It's never. It's. I've been the product of that. Let me answer some of these other questions. Bob Lehman. He said you will be missed so much. Well, thank you, Bob. Again, I'll be on Twitter, so make sure you. I'm sure I'll see you there. So Thank you. And thanks for all your support over the years, Bob. You've been great. Really have. Like I said yesterday, a giant among men, a god among men. Lorraine says, will you be able to sleep regular hours? Unfortunately, no. I will still get up early, but in um, I will probably sleep in an extra half an hour to 45 minutes. Uh, Especially in the summertime. So instead of getting them at 3, I might get up at 3:30. And because I still, that European changeover time doesn't it happens during those wacky hours of the night. So I still have to get up relatively early. But I'll tell you, getting up at 3:30 and not doing a webinar is probably a lot different than getting up at 3:30. You know what I'm saying? Nick says, hey Blake, great news for you, bad news for us. Thanks for all your help and inspiration and guidance and insight over the years. Really appreciate it. You're welcome, Nick. And that's Nick, who lives in Italy. And Nick, I'll tell you personally, when you tell me, hey Blake, I'm looking at this, I always want to look at it because you have a good eye for the market. So keep it up. You're one of them. You're one of them that you can see things. You can see things that most people don't. So don't ever give up. Gary said, good morning, Blake. Just like to say thanks for all your analysis and education you have given your listeners. I've brought you into my office most nights for the past 3 years, and I will miss this going forward. I believe through listening to you that if I went to war, you'd be the guy I would want watching my back. Good luck, mate. Thanks, Gary. And I appreciate that. And I know you're in Australia. It's some really like Glenn listens in from Australia as well. It's I know you guys have some to listen to this webinar is crazy hours at night. I'm glad to have been part of your life. And like I said, I'll continue to do so. You'll just see me in different formats. It just won't be in a webinar format, at least not in the near term. Barnstormer says Paul was in mourning. No, Paul was sleeping. Saeed says we will miss you, miss your professional broadcasting voice, which is really talented, along with your great trading skills. Of course, I respect your decision. All the best, man. Thank you, Saeed. Sam says, don't worry, we'll bring Gartman. Hey, Ahmad. Tracy writes in, hey, Blake, Amanda advised me to listen to you, and I have learned so much by doing so. It's been short, but oh so sweet. Massively grateful, thank you. Wishing you and your family blessings and abundance. Merry Christmas and healthy, prosperous 2017. Oh, thank you, Tracy, and to you. And I think you, if you're mixed up with Amanda, that's a good thing. She's one of those rising stars, and as I told her when I go to London, which will probably be this, I thought it was going to be this fall, but it's realistically going to be in the spring. When I come to London, I'm going to try to put together a meetup, with a few people. And Amanda would be among one of them. I'm not sure if you're in the UK, but if you are, love to meet you as well. Greg says, ciao, Blake. Really sorry to hear you're leaving. Luck for your future plans. Thank you, Greg. Scott says, Blake, I'll miss your daily coffee sipping. Bless you, brother. Thank you, Scott. I'll miss you too, man. Gary said, oh, the thing I won't miss is the Greek god singing. What? Oh, by the way, did you know the dollar yen got to 118.03 right now and is currently a short? I shorted the dollar yen last night at 117.97, and I'm still short because I think the Greek gods are singing right now. Oh. Just so you all know. I'll be back in a few minutes. When I come back, we'll have less singing, more analysis, so don't go anywhere. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Happy Tuesday to you all.